But it's kind of interesting that Judge Holder is also the same judge who, when another veteran went into a convenience store and urinated on the floor and then rolled up the road firing his weapon, worked extra hard to get that veteran sentenced, or get the state not to pursue prosecuting that veteran, and also went to the University of South Florida to try to get this veteran back in there after this felony conviction. Oddly enough, I know another person who's a veteran that Judge Holder worked extremely hard to try to put in prison. I don't know what the differences are between the two of us, although I do, but that would be speculation for me to think that that's the only reason he did it. But you all can look that up, Judge Gregory Holder. So you might find that to be pretty interesting as well, because it's about time for me to get on to filing that lawsuit. Let's see the response to my statement of particulars. And here we go. Let's see, sign up in court, Defendant was also shown in court the unredacted criminal court affidavit showing Holder. Oh, here you go. Look at this. So here we go. Now let me do some more to get to you all's curiosity. Judge Holder, Gregory Holder, as we see now in G, defendant was also shown in open court the unredacted criminal report affidavit showing Gregory Holder as a complainant witness. Now, here's what's interesting, people. Judge Gregory Holder was a judge actively on a case that I was attempting to intervene for one of the properties. He was the sitting judge in that case. So in other words, a judge who was sitting in a case involving me, or me making an attempt to get property, is the witness who started the investigation. So if I got any great civil rights attorneys out there, or any, well, you have to be a civil rights attorney for one, because I'm definitely going to file a 1983 action in this case. But it's kind of interesting. The judge in my case actually created a criminal action against me. Something else, during this process, this same judge created a case management conference. For those familiar with Bill Cosby, you might be able to follow along with it. The Bill Cosby situation. He created a case management conference. In that case management conference, he asked me questions. Didn't know judges did that kind of stuff. About my acquisition of the property. What was very interesting at the time was I filed I think the second DCA called it a writ of review, which is kind of like a certiorari. They pulled the case away from him, so we were sitting in the middle of the stay. But he called a case management conference during the stay and was doing all this stuff, even though, again, the second District Court of Appeals, DCA means District Court of Appeals, said, don't do anything else with this case. He called something. He admits during this case management conference that he had witnessed me in another proceeding about another property. Oddly enough, people, in that case, one of the judges that he was sitting in front of is a judge that I sat in front of. That may not make sense. He went to a judge's chambers to actually investigate and watch me. Why, I don't know. And in fact, the house in question in that case that I was attempting to intervene to defend, the attorneys for the bank filed they filed the foreclosure more than 5 years after the last default date. Florida statute says you only have 5 years. So essentially, some lawyers and some judges stole at least one of my houses. I think they stole 4 of them, is what I'm going to say. He stole 4 of my properties because you never had an evidentiary hearing. The fact that an attorney came in and filed a complaint wasn't going to be enough. Not to mention those properties are also part of trust. So how could the trust be intact if you snatch the property out? That's just some more underlying stuff as we get to me disqualifying the judge. But I'm pretty sure by now everybody should understand why it was necessary to disqualify the judge. So what we're going to do here is, because I wasn't planning on speaking this long, but I began to pontificate. But let's get to the actual proceedings, and you'll actually hear the judge disqualify himself. But look, what I want you all to do also is turn your volume up as loudly as you can, because you're going to hear something that, again, I did not hear at the time. I did not find out about it until I got a copy of the audio that something was actually said regarding me during this proceeding. And let me see if I can't hit this mic thing.